Guys, I want to get loud all of a sudden.
Do it.
Sorry, I'm going to.
I knew it was coming.
I'm sorry, guys.
Can't
I
hold
need
them back.
to do that.
It is. You feel like Poseidon chucking that bugger down in the water.
Sucking that bugger. Did you butt out that deer? I did not butt out that deer, but the next one I get, okay, he's getting his butt out.
Is that little Stevie out here in the back?
Drobop. Bow drop, I'm sorry. Drobop. Hello. Stay tuned. I'll be back after my seizure. Every little chipmunk that was running around, everything's dead quiet, and I went like that. Just happened.
I saw what is in essence a nature-gasm.
Welcome back around the Sonic Campfire. You're with the Rutten River Pursuit podcast. I am Uncle Buck, and who do I have with me tonight?
Hey, I'm Ryan.
I'm Catfish.
I'm Kyle.
I'm Steve. And I'm Will.
And I'm excited, guys.
Is that right?
We have an outstanding guest that I've been dying to get on the show.
You have been mentioning this for a while.
I've been following her since a little bit before the outdoor show.
Since The Little Mermaid.
The name, yes. You're giving it away, Will.
I did.
We just might as well
Is that a hint?
Let's just let it out
Good
today.
hint.
Guys, we have Ariel Druschel from Western Pennsylvania on the phone tonight.
Yeah, buddy.
And when it comes to the outdoors in Pennsylvania, I think she does about all of it.
That's from best I can tell on that Instagram account she's got.
Yeah.
She's doing it.
I believe she
Killing
hunts
it.
PA.
Killing it, and every pun intended.
Did you say she's on the line?
Yes.
Ariel, are you there?
I'm here, guys.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on here.
Of course.
With such a broad spectrum of outdoor activities that we're dealing with here, Ariel, I think the best place for us to start is at the beginning. Give us a little background, Ariel. Where did you fall in love with the outdoors? Like, where did that start?
Yeah, so I actually, when I was growing up, my family, my dad and my pap, they were all big. My uncles, they were all real big into the outdoors. At that time, though, I wasn't old enough that before PA had the mentor youth hunts. So I wasn't old enough to go out with them. When I was about 11, my pap had passed away, so I didn't have the opportunity to go out with him or my dad and any of my uncles because they kind of all got out of it. So a couple years, so for a couple years after that, I just really enjoyed always being outdoors, getting dirty, not afraid to get my hands dirty. And as the years went on and everything, I eventually met a guy who got me involved to take me out in the outdoors. My now husband, him and his family kind of opened, the doors for me to be able to go hunting. And ever since then, it was all history from there. But I always had the passion and the drive to be in the outdoors, whether it's hunting or fishing. And since then, I've learned a lot and definitely gained as a hunter more traits, techniques, skills. And ever since then, too, my dad actually came out of retirement from hunting per se. So now I get to go with my uncles now and my dad. And it's definitely a family tradition now, which is the best thing you could ever wish for.
You pulled him back in.
Yes.
Perfect.
Good on you.
It's interesting, Ariel. We've had several women hunters on the show, and I would say a fair majority of them, they didn't get involved in the outdoors from a young age. They had a influence bring them in once they were of an older age. It's interesting how we kind of see these recurring themes. What did you kind of get brought in hunting? Was it small game, deer? How'd you get involved?
It primarily started out with deer. So deer hunting was the biggest. I remember it still to this day. The first deer that I shot was with my 243. It was a doe, and it was probably about 400 and some yards. First time, ever actually going out hunting for a deer. And I was able to seal the deal on one.
Wow.
Pretty far shot. So ever since then, it started with the deer. And then from there, I fell in love with turkey hunting, which is also one of my favorites. And I guess I could say I love it all. I'll probably keep saying one of my favorites, but I guess they're all kind of my favorite.
It's tough to pick, isn't it?
It is.
We know how you feel.
So tell us the story about your first deer. So you killed it at 400 yards, you said?
600.
Yeah, I wish it was about 6. It was a little over 400.
That's quite a poke.
Yeah, that's a poke.
I'll always find that hunt specifically memorable too, though, because it was my first hunt out, super excited. It was before Pennsylvania even changed the tags and everything, the hunting license. So it was those old cardboard looking ones with you had to rip them off and everything. So I'll never forget, first time out, I was all excited, pumped up to go up and hunt. Well, I'll admit it, I accidentally, it was real cold out too, so I put my hood up over my fluorescent hat as well. And I didn't have it fully shown at the time, and I forgot to pull it down. And once you know, I did get stopped by a game warden my first trip out. Yeah.
Wow.
And yeah, I, definitely added to the memory, but I remember that clearly. Definitely won't forget that or make that mistake again. But we trekked up this giant mountain and hillside, and we kept seeing deer from way far down over the hill. And I had shot once, and I'll admit it, I missed, and it still was there. I actually grabbed my husband's gun that he was using, which was a 7 mag, and I missed it with that. So I tried again, and I dropped it at 400 yards with that 243.
Wow.
Yep.
Third time's a charm.
Anyhow.
Right?
That's impressive. Now, I assume at that point you had so much adrenaline going, you probably couldn't tell the difference between the 243 and the 7mm, could you?
Exactly. And I still, I thought to myself, I'm like, how did someone miss with a 7 mag that far? But to be honest, I was afraid of it before, but then whenever I shot it, like you said, there was so much adrenaline. I didn't even know what was going on. I just said, hand me my gun.
Yeah.
Now, Ariel, was that your first hunt in general, or had you been hunting deer for a while before you harvested that doe?
That was my first actual real trip out, like hunting. I had my gun, I had my license. That was my first trip. I had tagged along on like some small game hunts, just walking and getting used to everything. But as far as an actual hunt, that was my first one ever.
So your level of excitement was probably through the roof, to say the least.
Absolutely. Whenever if you don't cry, I think on or get choked up on every harvest you have, or just in general have that feeling of excitement and that adrenaline. I think that, if you don't have that feeling, then you don't need to be out there in the outdoors. When you have that feeling, that's when you know you're passionate. It's truly what you love, and you love to share that experience with others and hope that they have the same love and passion for you.
Yeah. And I've actually said that to a lot of people. It's like, the day that I'm in a tree stand and a deer comes into sight and my legs don't start shaking, that's the day I'll hang it up. Because, for me, every deer I see, I get that sewing machine leg going, whether I'm standing or sitting. Doesn't matter. I just get so worked up as soon as I see one.
What's that like?
Yep, exactly.
What, to see deer?
I am famous for that shaky leg. I always send a video. Hey guys,
you know what this means.
You know what this means.
I'm exact opposite. I don't get that till after I shoot. But after I shoot and connect, then I come unglued.
That's when it gets worse, much worse.
I'm pretty good at staying rock solid until afterwards, but it's afterwards I look like I have hypothermia.
Yep. Absolutely. I think we all can relate to that, though.
I'm just really happy nobody can see me.
Right.
It looks bad.
That's why I think I like solo hunts the best, because then when you have a meltdown or you're crying or you're just shaking like a leaf, you're like, okay, nobody's watching, right? There's no trail cameras around me.
That's why I don't hunt with all these guys, Ariel, because when I have the breakdowns, they're not there to...
Phil he likes to shoot deer so he can pet them.
Yep.
I just wanted to pet you.
And then I cry because they didn't get back up.
Bless your heart.
They have a thing called BAM. You can
just
trank them. You can trank them for a while.
I heard you got to go to a special school for that, though.
Well, I just wanted to pet you.
Ariel, something else that I think in keeping with the traditions and the themes that we've had with a lot of the ladies who hunt that have been on our show, like Kyle pointed out, it's the significant other oftentimes that got them into it a little later in life. How old were you when you had this hunt?
I was 16.
Okay. So you weren't married at the time, but this was your boyfriend then. He got you back out there and doing this stuff. How many years did it take for you to become a better hunter than him?
Well, I'll probably get some backlash from him, but
just say it.
He won't listen.
Out with it.
Yeah, he probably doesn't listen.
He showed me, he messed up when he showed me all the good spots and what to do, because now I don't think he's gotten a deer since we've been together for almost
that
12
happens.
years now.
Oh, I totally
and married
feel his
for
pain.
almost 3. So he always just says, well, you'll take care of us, won't you?
Bless his heart.
And it's funny because I sort of prefaced it that way, that it was going to be a common theme, but it turns out to actually be a pretty common theme. A lot of the ladies out hunt their significant others, and I'm finding it to be true even just with my daughter. My wife doesn't hunt at all, but since I've had my daughter out, she killed a buck bigger than anything I've killed when she was 10, and she's been out hunting me every day since.
Once I taught Lacey how to turkey hunt, I don't think I've ever killed another turkey.
I still swear women have some of the best outdoor luck that there is to find.
It's because they're a lot more patient and they listen.
Yep.
Probably right.
And they can sit.
It's
they
probably
can
not
sit
even
more-
luck. It's probably they're just probably better.
Ladies in general can just sit more still, I think.
Yeah. It's crazy though. I am probably one of the most impatient people that there is. I mean, my mom always joked that, I was born 3 weeks earlier than I should have been. And she always said that I was impatient and antsy. And then it's true. But whenever I'm hunting or I'm fishing or I'm on the ice, I could sit there all day long and outfit every single other guy on the ice or every single guy that's out hunting with us. And I don't come in until I have something in my hands.
That's awesome. I fidget like catfish is like, just lay down or something. Stop moving. Like
I need
in your thumb.
he still puts up with me.
I roofie myself in the woods just
You've roofied yourself in the woods?
just to sit still. Yeah,
Dear Lord.
yeah. I go out there and
It's a little aggressive, Phil.
I sit still.
You argue with yourself. I said sit still or I'll roofie you.
I'll roofie your butt again, Phil. And I did.
You what?
I taught myself that day. No, Stevie, it's all right. Bud.
I'm lost.
Yeah, we'll get you caught back up in a minute.
Stevie doesn't hunt. He really doesn't know the importance of sitting still.
Or roofies, I guess.
Or
for that
roofies,
matter.
There's a few times I've taken Stevie fishing where I thought I'd have to roofie him for him to slow down a little bit.
Anyhow.
He doesn't stop. He doesn't stop.
Yeah.
Once he sees the water, he runs towards it.
Well, I know we've been focused a little bit on the hunting background and your first hunt that you were on and how you're really outdoing your husband with all the hunting. But I know Stevie's chomping at the bit. Let's get some fishing questions in the mix there,
past
Steve.
the hunting. That's more than enough.
Yeah,
We're going to be coming back to it. We didn't talk archery yet, but go ahead.
Yeah.
So we started looking. I'm looking through your Instagram. She hunts PA, and a lot of ice fishing pictures there.
Yes.
Talk about that a little bit.
So ice fishing is probably one of my most favorite things to do when it's cold, frigid, the worst that there could be. That's the best time to be out. And this past couple years in a row, we've been involved in a tournament series put on by a couple of our friends. And since then it's grown. It's the Western PA Hard Water Tournament Series. And we have been very involved with hosting the tournament and helping with that, but just in general participating in it. And it is one of the most exciting, fun things to participate in. And I can't ever wait for the first ice to come through. People are like, oh, no ice. But meanwhile, we're over here just twiddling our thumbs, waiting for that first safe ice to come.
That tournament's on 4 or 5 different lakes, isn't it?
Yeah, so it actually, it depends. We're having this year, I can say that they're hoping to have about 5 tournament series going on for this year. And one is actually in the works to hopefully be out in Central PA.
No kidding.
Say what?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Go on.
Can you tell us where in Central PA?
I don't know where yet. That's still in the works. There are the tournament director, one of them, Gus. He actually has been talking with me, saying, they're planning on different locations and announcing that before too long. But there's a lot of awesome things coming this year, especially for the tournament series. It's been growing. With that being said, the payout for them, first place, man. How would it feel to take over $1,000 for first place?
No kidding.
Yep.
I could live with that.
Yep.
I wouldn't be in any danger of getting it, but I could live with that.
That's a whack of money.
That is a whack. That's a whack of cheese right there.
Cheddar. Produce a whole whack of podcasts too.
Yeah.
Tell
me about it. So how was your ice fishing season this past year?
Oh, it was one of the best ones I've ever had.
Yeah.
Best.
You slammed the crappie this year.
Yes, my favorite. So we were hitting it really hard, just pre-fishing for all the tournaments, and then just in general going out whenever there wasn't a tournament, just fishing for fun. Mm-hmm. And I caught some of the biggest crappie that I have ever caught through the ice. I actually reeled in one of a northern pike up in Presque Isle during the tournament. Now it was panfish only and lunker for the panfish, but I reeled into that on just a purple Swedish pimple with 4 pounds test, I think it was. And I got it through right at the top of the hole, and right then and there it snapped it right off. But
heartbreaker.
That's why we call it the heartbreaker.
But wait, it gets better. My husband actually scooped it up. I said, "You better grab that thing," and he scooped it up, reached down in the hole, and drug it out. So I actually was able to.
He stuck his hand in the hole with an angry pike head sticking up out of there.
Wow. Yep.
Bless his heart.
Like Jean-Claude Van Damme in Bloodsport.
Wow.
That's awesome.
But it's so exciting though. You never know what you're going to bring through the ice. I mean, I was set up for panfish.
We should have had him on the podcast.
We should have. But you know what? That's okay. Maybe another time.
Yeah. We'll get him on.
She's like, I'm still a better hunter than him.
No, that's great. We have very limited time. When Catfish or Stevie says it's time, we got to drop everything, tell our families, we love them, kiss them goodbye, and get on the ice, because it's not here long. And
we had about a month here last year, and that was the longest stretch we've had in a while. Yeah.
We were actually blessed to get out.
Yeah. Yeah, before that. How long is do you typically have safe ice out there?
So it can depend. This ice season was pretty darn good to us. We got pretty much all but one of the last final tournaments in, because the ice started to go away in Presque Isle. But we had it for, I'd say probably, it was almost 2 months for the most part of safe ice, which is really great for out here. But we drop everything like you guys said.
Yeah. Don't you get mad at there's people that live up north where they, have 3 months of, 4 foot thick ice and
driving their trucks out.
Driving trucks on it.
Yeah.
And we're happy to get 6 inches of ice.
In a tiny sled.
Yeah.
Always walking out with your spud bar and everything. You're like, is it still safe? Is it still safe?
Do you ever fall through?
So, I have not personally fallen through. That's definitely one of my biggest fears. And I will say, I went to school at Edinburgh, and
it's a little colder up there.
Oh yeah, a lot colder. But my house was right on the lake, right there. So my husband and I had gone out the one day, we just decided we would go out, and I actually watched him fall through in front of me, I was right behind him. At safe distance, but I watched him fall through, and that to me was the most terrifying thing. And since then, he got out, thank God. Everything was fine. He was definitely cold.
Did you scoop him up like a pike?
I should have, but I stood there and froze.
I would have too, I'm sure. How did he get out? Did he have spikes?
He's fallen through a couple times. He's not really afraid to fall through, which is terrifying. But
Wow.
He was more calm than anything. I mean, I was the one probably freaking out the most, but he just real calm, put his arms out, told me to back up slowly, and he just spread his weight evenly and just kept crawling till he got out. And I don't know how he was so calm, but he did it and he was okay. But it took me about a year for me to even want to go back out on the ice after that.
You're supposed to try to raise your feet up behind you so that you're flat, and swim across the top of the water till you can crawl.
Oh man.
Yep, that's exactly it.
Did you guys?
I mean, safety's like my biggest thing.
Yeah.
Whether it's ice fishing or it's hunting. I mean, in my blind bag, I keep the most. Probably what to some people sounds like the most ridiculous things to keep in your blind bag. But I mean, I always keep my emergency blanket, flares, like everything. I keep it all with me. So when we go out on the ice, I have my picks, I have a spud bar, I have my float suit that I wear. I have my cleats on. I have everything that you can possibly need to be as proactive and safe.
Sure.
Because I don't want to see that happen to myself or anyone else out on the ice. You know, I always preach to everyone safety first and always.
You should work for OSHA.
I should.
Yeah, I've seen you have one of the suits with the styrofoam in them or something like that, right? That if you do fall through it, that's cool. I'm too cheap to buy one of those, so I just roll the dice.
Goodbye.
I always just send Logan out first and say, "Hey, walk out there and check that ice with me."
Yeah.
Stevie wears fins and a snorkel just in case.
Flippers.
Yeah, you see me walking out there on the ice.
Scuba Steve.
Oh, geez.
Well, if I'm ever out with you guys and I see you going through, don't worry, I'll be right behind you with all the safety stuff.
Nice.
Did you guys catch anything after you fell through that day, or did you pack it up?
Oh, we packed it right up and went in the house.
Oh.
I think it just would have been a nice hole to fish through then.
One more ice fishing question. I saw this tank.
Yeah.
I saw this tank largemouth you caught through the ice.
Oh, yes.
Was that this year?
That was this year. That was the first time out on the ice. First ice.
Get out.
You got GPS coordinates for that?
Yeah, send them to us.
I might be able to tell you a few things, but I don't think I can say it over the air.
How did that happen? We rarely catch bass.
Bass through the ice.
Oh,
It's our
you
unicorn.
have to come to Western PA.
All right.
We know
Talked him into it.
we know another
Come on out.
group over there, out west, and the Old family, Aaron and Samantha.
Yes, they were in the ice fishing series too.
Yeah,
they're our friends.
and he caught a whack of bass and through the ice, and we were just it's just something we don't get to see, and I don't
That's
know.
wild. Yeah, you guys.
Maybe we're not good at it.
Maybe we just stink at ice fishing.
Crappie, perch, and
No.
Trout.
Just gotta be in the right.
and sunnies.
Yeah. Just gotta be in the right spot.
Well,
sure.
typically
Right
when
way.
we're out, we're fishing 10 to 20 feet of water too.
Yeah.
And bass
Ooh,
are
wow.
always up in 6-8 feet normally in Lake Mead and some of the lakes we're at.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
If you want to fish for bass, you go find the old weed beds that are dead and right.
Yep.
Remember
The very shallows.
what's his name agreed with that?
Aaron.
No. Yeah, him. But what's the other fella name?
Dave Gens.
Dave Gens.
Yeah, that guy we talked to.
Yeah.
And the Oles are another great example of a couple that hunts and fishes together. And the ladies are getting the job
Ladies
done
killing
over
it.
top of the guys. That's for sure.
Ariel, your fishing does not stop with the ice. You obviously keep fishing through the spring and the summer. What do you like to target during the warmer months?
So, still my favorite definitely has to be panfish, crappie for sure. The hard water series actually did an open water tournament at our local lake.
Soft water series.
Yes. And we weren't actually fishing it in the tournament. We were helping host the tournament. So we were with the one of the tournament directors on his boat, just fishing for fun. But we entered in the lunker, and I had never caught the biggest crappie in my life until that day.
Really?
That was, we won the lunker, my partner and I. So that was super exciting.
How big was it?
But it was, I didn't actually, you know what? I never actually measured it, but it was, what was it? It was 1.64 pounds.
Whoa.
That's pretty
So,
Yeah, that's a beast.
Yeah, it's a big panfish.
yeah. But I mean, I'll do it all. I love to still catfish. And then the local lake by us too is really known for big stripers.
Go on.
It just keeps sounding better and better, doesn't it, guys?
Yeah. We're packing our bags.
And what would this
You're on
lake's
your way.
name be?
You have a spare bedroom because it's now the Stevie Miser suite.
I got a spare bedroom and a couple sheds.
There you go.
Take the shed.
More therapeutic for you, like a sauna.
Yeah.
Be good for you.
Yeah.
Are you familiar at all with Conneaut Lake? Conneaut Lake.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep. I bow fish there quite often.
So it's good fishing there?
It's good fishing and bow fishing.
Great.
Really?
Make me feel worse about myself. I was up in Meadville about 3 weeks ago, and for one overnight stay, and I fished the shores of the lake there a little bit and didn't catch a thing.
But there was probably
Had a
a lot
rough
of
night.
speedboaters, huh? That's a hard lake to fish because...
Okay, now you're making me feel better. Thank you.
Because everyone, if you go right before any of the people with their big giant speedboats and their jet skis, if you go before all of that happens, great fishing. If you go during ice fishing, great fishing for pike.
Oh, wow. It was actually the end of the day right before dark last half hour, so I found a place to throw, but
Yeah.
I got bit off by something. I'm going to say it was a pike now, but
Yep. That lake is crawling with pike.
other than that, I didn't have a bite.
Is there like a pike line in PA, like where there's a latitude line where there's pike and like?
That's a good question.
I mean, because we're not there.
It's below the porcupine line.
Generally.
Generally, yeah.
Yeah, we don't have porcupines much either.
Nope.
I think the hemlock line is where it's drawn.
I would say that there's definitely a lot of, especially where we are, there's definitely a lot of lakes that have the pike. Muskie too, but I've yet to catch a muskie, so I don't know where they are or how you catch them. I've yet to do that, so.
Bass fish. Then you'll catch muskie.
That's Stevie's trick.
That's Stevie's tip of the day.
Yep.
That's a really good trick, though. That's a very good tip to know.
So tell us about this striper lake.
So, they
For the next 45 minutes, Stevie wants to know about the striper lake. Stevie's
I
on
can
to
tell
the
you guys
striper.
the lake. This is actually the prime time for it right now.
Is it?
You go in, you fish for them in the evening, really late at night till the morning, pretty much. But they will hit hard, and they are big.
Yeah.
Now, are you trolling those, or are you vertical?
So I know, so I know a lot of people that do troll for them. But a lot of other people will wade in the water, or you can go from the boat, and you just pretty much, there's one area where there's a roadbed meets, and it's just like the right spot to be, and they'll come into that because they're that lake has a lot of bait fish in it, and they're coming after the bait fish. So it's a very successful lake for stripers. They can be hard to catch, but when you get into them, and you'll hear them smacking off the water and swirling around, and it's pretty exciting.
You can catch them while waiting.
Yep, people will do that too.
Oh man, that's a new dream of mine.
Well, you guys are more than welcome to come out, and I can help show you guys where to go.
Yeah,
Be careful.
We
saying
need
stuff like that.
You have 7 new best friends.
And Stevie won't leave until he catches a striper.
We traveled 24 hours to somebody that invited us. So
Yeah, truth. Last week
on a whim,
or a 15-month whim.
Well, this will be a shorter drive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No,
Make it happen.
we don't catch a whole lot of stripers. There's a couple lakes back here, but it's like Lake Racetown, but it's kind of tough to catch them there.
We can stay at
I've heard of that
Castle
lake.
Crowmakers halfway there.
There you go.
Yeah.
We could stay at my dad's place.
There we go. Yeah, it's a big lake, but it's another one with a lot of boats. And
Well, Lake Mead's like that. It's the same thing as she's saying.
Yeah.
When we go out early in the morning from 5 to 9, it's can be pretty magical. But hit 10 o'clock and all the ski boats and wake boats come out, it shuts off.
Even I think the pontoons kind of, when they come out at 8:30, they kind of start to get finicky.
I hate those pontoons.
They just drive over
the
all the good
worst.
fishing areas.
Yeah.
We need to go out and make floating buoy like traffic cones so they can't go in our fishing spot. Or just take turns like guarding it with, like potato guns or something. Water balloons filled with paint. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have ample warnings with the megaphone. You know what I mean? Cease and desist and all that.
This is a restricted area.
You're now entering Stevie's giant bass hole. Stop.
Stop.
All right, that sounded horrible. Abort.
Abort.
No, it's so. I think for us to like go to like Pittsburgh's about 3-4 hours something. It's not horrible.
Yeah. Oh, it's not far at all. Yeah, come on out.
I mean, that's like 2 podcasts and we're there.
Right.
Yeah,
it's true.
So we saw some snow geese pictures on your Instagram page too, right?
Back to the cold weather.
Yeah, let's go back to the cold weather a little bit.
But he's transitioning into hunting, though. I'm proud of him.
Yeah, good work.
Good job, Stevie.
bravo.
Sorry. He's just building up the question whether or not that they taste.
He did ask that question.
I was
didn't he?
asking earlier. I was looking at your pictures and asked if they tasted different than Canadians.
Oh, wait, real quick on that. It's funny whenever we fished with that dude in Canada on a whim that we just met at the Mississauga River. And he just took us fishing. We're walking back with this guy, and Will totally looks at him and goes, there's a ton of geese in the yard, and they're all looking at us funny. He's like, they'll attack you. And he's like, so, like, since we're in Canada, did you just call them geese? And the guy's like, and the guy looked at him. He's like, well, they're gooses, but there's lots of them. They're geese. And I went, so you don't call them Canadian geese? Me and Will had to laugh.
Yeah, he didn't. He was not picking up. He was like,
anyhow, side rail. Go ahead. Ask her a question. Sorry, Stevie.
I've totally lost my train of thought.
The white geese.
About the white
Oh
geese.
yeah.
They taste more like regular geese.
They're all white meat.
They're not white at all.
Actually, it's funny because if you cut them up and you set a steak right next to like a backstrap, with no filters on it, and you cut the same cut, it's hard to tell, like from a camera picture, which one's which.
Really?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's just steak.
Miss Ariel, do white snow geese taste the same as Canadian geese?
Yeah. Do they?
In my opinion, I think I personally really can't tell the difference.
How do you like to cook them?
Me, so we actually, believe it or not, our friend, he found a recipe for goose jerky.
Oh wow!
And believe it or not, it's really tasty. Tastes fantastic. The texture's great too. So that's what we primarily do. We'll save a lot of our meat so we get a big batch going, but we'll keep it in the freezer until we're ready for it, and that's what we'll primarily use with our the goose meat.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's what I generally make out of it too.
Really?
Yep.
I wonder if the Moses family does goose jerky.
They should.
But they should.
They should.
They definitely should.
I've had good goose jerky before.
Absolutely.
It's good stuff. All right. Well, I don't want to take us off the goose track, but I do want to get a chance.
Do.
I want to get a chance to talk to Ariel a little bit about her archery.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
So I understand that you're, big bow hunter and you're loving it. What is it still just primarily whitetail that you're hunting archery with?
This past archery season, I actually got my buck with my bow.
Nice.
My second buck.
Cool. Congrats.
Yeah.
Cool.
Way to go.
Thank you. That was actually a solo hunt again for me. So what I was doing is I was leaving work, and I flew up to our camp in Linesville. And I think it was on the second or third day that I did that I had a buck come out. And again, I have no problem admitting and, missing, because I think that's totally,
it's real.
Normal. It happens to everyone. The feeling of that definitely stinks, but
not
that
Ryan.
buck, that buck that I shot, I actually missed the first time, and he just kind of stood there. And I thought for sure right then and there it was done for. And he came back again, and gave me a perfect broadside shot. And I was able to pull back and seal the deal. Now, I wasn't sure, because it was starting to get dark. I wasn't sure if I made a solid hit or not. But that sound that the arrow makes when it hits a deer, you just know that that's the right sound.
Yeah. Like a 2x4 hitting a wet garbage bag.
Yes.
That's the sound.
Yep.
Yes.
That's very good. I like that.
I can't even picture it. It sounds terrible in my head.
like a full garbage bag that's full of
like a wet.
You can fill it with whatever you want, bud.
But the bag is wet.
Yeah, the bag's wet on the outside.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
What about the inside?
The inside's bone dry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bone dry on the inside.
Yeah. They dipped a full garbage bag. Do we have to go through it like this?
Is the 2x4 like pressure treated?
No, rough
is this
cut
2x4? Yeah, is this 2x4 nominal or?
It's rough cut.
Oh my gosh.
It's like
Do you see what I have to deal with?
That'll
Ariel?
get edited out.
No, not exactly.
Not anymore.
Not in its entirety.
We're gonna hear about this on Sunday.
So out of curiosity, then were you hunting like the edge of a field, or what were you? Where was your stand at that you got 2 shots at the buck? Like,
So I actually was hunting in our camp has like an open field area, and then behind it, it's got a couple acres of woods, a little more open woods. But I was up in my tree stand, and it borders like a neighboring property where it's real thick in there. Like you can hardly see anything coming out of it. That's how thick it was. And, he just kind of slowly came out, and I couldn't believe it whenever I was excited that I had a clean miss, but at the same time I was frustrated, that feeling of mixed emotions. But whenever he came back out again and I made that shot, and I swear that I thought I had missed again because I saw him move. And the very first time that I shot a buck with my bow, I saw him bleed out like instantly. And to me, like, I'd never shot anything else with my bow, so I thought that that's what you should see every time, and I didn't see that happen. So in my head I was feeling so defeated, like, did I really just miss this buck again at a perfect clean shot? And it was really dark by then. I waited in my tree stand for a while because I kind of tried to keep track of where he was headed, and I heard some sounds in the woods, but it was real thick, and again, I didn't want to spook it if I had shot it. So I went down and I was crawling around trying to find my arrow and where it would have been last. And I did find my arrow, and there was like this weird kind of coloration on the arrow. And I was like I saw a little bit of faint blood, and I was like, was this a really bad shot? Like, I can't believe this just happened. Did I get a gut shot or what? It didn't smell. So I actually pulled out for the night and didn't even bother go looking for the deer because I didn't want to spook it up. If it was going to lay there and die, I wanted to let it lay there and die and not kick it up and not be able to find it.
That's the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the next day, my father-in-law was able to get up there before me, and we found the deer. He was right where I thought I heard him rustling around. So I'm actually really glad that I did pull out when I did, because it was him, crashing around in the woods there in the thicket. So that was probably the best thing ever, because again, it was another solo hunt for me, with my bow. The 2 bucks that I harvested with my bow were both solo hunts, and it was very, very rewarding to be able to say that you harvest, a deer alone, but also a buck with your bow is pretty exciting.
Do you have anybody that you can call when you arrow a deer that will like drive an hour away and bring you honey buns and help you track it, and you just sit in the truck while they drag it back to your truck for you?
Probably.
I'm not saying I have one of those people. All I do is I arrow deer and I call Will, and he drives down and gets them for me. I'm very spoiled.
Mows down.
But I do have a quick Uncle Catfish tip on how to get your first turkey with a bow, if you'd like to hear it.
Absolutely.
So set up a blind that's big enough to lay down in, and lay your bow flat in front of you. Go ahead and lay down inside the blind. Get rid of the chair. It's useless. Just go to sleep. And every time you just randomly wake up on a beautiful May morning, draw your bow back first, and then just jump up in the blind and swing around and see if there's turkeys. And if there's not, let your bow down real easy and go ahead and go back to sleep. Yep. And that's it's worked for me once or twice. So I'm just saying, I'm teaching Will. He's learning.
He's trying, to take the edge off.
I don't doubt that at all. Honestly, that's always whenever you're sleeping or not paying attention. That's when everything happens.
That's why it works. They have no clue. You can't get caught busted moving if you're sleeping.
Yeah.
Exactly.
My snore sounds like a fighting purr.
Well, that's it. I was going to say, they're very curious on what the snore is.
They just come right into it.
You just have to watch the black bears don't take it as a mating call. That's all.
Yeah.
Well, I wish you luck on getting a turkey with a bow. It is a challenge, that's for sure.
It definitely is. I can't wait for that moment to come, but I'll just have to wait again for next season.
Speaking of black bear, is that next on your list for PA harvesting, Ariel?
Yes, absolutely. That is one of my. So here's another scenario. You always try to see what your, whatever target species you're hunting. You think, okay, I'm going to go hunt a black bear. Like, I'm totally going to see a black bear. No, you see all the deer. When you're deer hunting, you see all the bear. So I actually it wasn't this bear season. I don't know. It was 2 years ago. We were putting on a drive during deer season. And wouldn't you know it, that this big black bear came out of the woods into an open pipeline field area. I had it in my sights, looking at it. Perfect, clean broadside shot, not running, just, moseying through the grass, probably less than 100 yards away from me. And I had to watch it walk off.
That's the way it works.
Story of my life.
I've been around bear. I've seen them hunting, but I never seem to see them during bear season. So hopefully someday.
All right. Good luck.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm actually hoping this year might be my year because the wildlife management unit that I'm in has an extended bear season that runs to the first Saturday of rifle.
That is nice.
And that's when doe opens up. So I could actually, if I get my doe tag drawn for there, buck, doe, or bear that first Saturday. Right
now you're just showing off.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Hey, you're all invited. 4D. Get a doe tag for 4D and come up.
Hey, there's an area around here too where, kind of close to here, where it's going to overlap, bear and deer. So I'm hoping to. You never know. Maybe
Wouldn't
we'll
that
get
be
lucky.
something? Yeah.
Well, the tip is, if you guys want to find a bear during deer season, you just got to go find the thickest, nastiest mountain laurel swamp. Just go into it, and just start walking around and get lost.
Roll yourself in
and
honey.
then the bear will come to you.
Yeah.
Roll yourself in honey.
Roll yourself in honey first, and then just go walking around.
That's how it works.
You know how I find bear?
Do you know from experience?
Speaking from experience on that one.
You know I find bear, but
how's that?
I go bass fishing.
Oh, geez.
I'm not kidding.
It's like a muskie.
I'm not kidding. The last bear I saw, I was bass fishing.
Bear's like a muskie.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just go bass fishing.
Go bass fishing.
It's a mammal of 1,000 casts.
Ariel, there's three things that I have not yet harvested in Pennsylvania that I'd like to try to do, and you can tell me yes or no if they're out in your area. First, I'd like to have an albino groundhog. I know they exist. I'd like to get a white groundhog. Never seen one, but I've seen taxidermy mounts of them. Are they out there?
I have not seen one.
Okay. Something else that I'd really like to add to the taxidermy wall. I've gotten some fox squirrels. I've gotten gray squirrels before. I'd really like to get a black squirrel, but they're not in our area.
Right.
We have fox squirrels and gray squirrels, but they don't have black squirrels. Do you have any black squirrels in western Pennsylvania?
I haven't seen any personally. I know that up more in the mountain area, I know that my family has seen them before, but I've yet to see a black squirrel myself. So that would be really cool though to see, let alone get one. But definitely on the bucket list.
You guys drove through Black Squirrel Central when you went up through Michigan. Because I was in Michigan for a 4-day long weekend.
Did you see them up there?
All over the place.
Yeah, I saw them
and
in
I asked
Ohio
somebody
one
about
time.
it, and they said, "Oh yeah, they're very common."
Well, that's what I said in Ohio. You said Michigan. I figured she was out towards Ohio.
Yeah,
Maybe they had
I
them.
wish Deke was here because I think they have them in Maryland.
Do they really?
I think
Well,
Deke would know. He
I'd
knows
like to
everything.
I
about
forget
Maryland.
what I was going to say. An albino groundhog, a black squirrel. Oh, and a dark phased coyote. Yeah, that's actually my unicorn. All black coyote phase.
That would be amazing.
They see them around here, but I've seen one in my lifetime, and they elude me constantly. Yep.
You know what my unicorn is?
A unicorn.
A horse with a horn on its head.
I'm pretty sure they have them in Michigan too. We drove through Michigan for 16 hours. We didn't.
It was
I was amazed. I didn't see a single deer.
Well,
I thought Michigan, at least upper state Michigan, would have tons of deer, but we didn't see any along the highway.
Well, Ariel, what's your dream hunt or your bucket list hunt that you would really like to go on?
That's kind of tough. Let me think about that.
Is it outside PA?
Well, so I guess for PA, I definitely want to try to get a black bear. I would rather try to get one here in my home state than pay to go somewhere out of state for one. I want to try to get it here because it's hard. It's very hard. So that's definitely my PA wish list, as well as a coyote. I missed 2 this year. I've never seen them hunting, and I missed 2 this year.
Oh, wow.
No kidding.
I was turkey hunting, and I only had turkey loads with me.
You got to get closer.
Yeah, that was heartbreaking.
Yeah. I know where there's an ornery black bear up north that we ran into 6 times a day you can take down. He ate my Kohler and tried to eat the other Kohler.
Wow.
He was standing on the side of the RV looking at Will, sniffing Will's face through the mesh.
Wow.
That was insane.
I'll keep it for the current. I'm sorry.
Save it.
Yeah, cool it.
Save it.
They have no fear of people though, up that far north.
No, they're just looking for a snack.
But Kyle's right though. Black bears that I've seen in Pennsylvania have tended to be towards the thickets, thickest, nastiest culverts and hollows.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep. Tick infested woods.
They like ticks. They're their buddies.
Yeah.
They team up.
They have parties.
So
I think so.
So outside of PA,
money's
no object. What's the thing that just you got to
believe it or not, and I know like money's not an option, it's probably the most random one, but I would love to get a sandhill crane.
Oh, that's different. Kidding. We haven't heard that one.
Yeah, that's Deke's deal.
I was going to say that was something Deaky.
I don't listen to anything he said.
They're the
Did he say that?
Yeah, he wanted to take you along or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear that part.
Yeah.
My fault. Sorry, Deke.
Anyway, but yeah, Sandhill Crane. Remember he says it's like the filet mignon of the sky or porterhouse or something. Delmonico of the sky.
Where would you go to do that at?
Michigan just opened up a season, I think.
Really?
Yes.
They're big birds.
That's a lot closer. Oh, they are.
Wait a minute. Is that the thing we saw on the side of the road with the baby in Michigan? Remember? We saw 2 big birds with a baby.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Because it looks like a gray herring, but it's brown.
Like
the
cartoons always said they were brought by storks. Now you're telling me they're sandhill cranes.
Oh, boy.
Well, that's what I was taught when I was a kid.
Yeah.
We
actually had them out. We had some of them out. Like they for some reason, the area that I'm at, just down the road from our house, we see them often. They come here every year. They're so cool to watch. I mean, just seeing them land is just amazing. And they're oh my gosh, when they start squawking and calling, it's the most crazy sound ever. You think that they're right on top of you and they're like 5 miles away.
What do they sound like?
Like pterodactyls. Well, the cranes at Lake Mead sound like pterodactyls.
Do they?
And the one landed in a tree the other morning, about took the tree out.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
They're
loud.
But
they are.
The bulk of you see on TV and stuff come out of Texas.
There's no season in Pennsylvania for them?
Nope. Unfortunately.
I don't think so, no.
We got everything else.
Well, I think that's an awesome bucket list hunt. That's something we haven't heard before, and that's super cool. I was really hoping you would say an albino groundhog with Uncle Catfish, but you did not say that.
That's number 2.
But I mean, it literally was a sign to go hunt these things with you, because as you were talking, I hate to make a pun at the Little Mermaid, but I literally hear birds singing behind you in the background, like you just attract nature. I can hear it through your phone.
Yeah.
They are carrying on out here.
They are. She's like little Snow. She's like Snow White instead of Ariel.
She's got the magic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also gathering all the mosquitoes too. So.
Oh, tell me about them. I gather them for a living.
They follow Buck around and they have parties on his shoulders.
Literally, next time I go to Canada, I'm bringing a blood bank with me.
You should get a new job, man.
He's a mosquito party planner.
Yeah.
It's for a living.
I'll help you update your
He's the
resume.
planner and the host.
Ariel, you have anything big coming up in the near future that we need to be aware of that our listeners should be paying attention to?
Going to be traveling a lot more to Ohio and out towards you guys for some snow geese a lot more this year. I'm just going to try to get outdoors a lot more and do some more hunting trips and hopefully get to travel a lot more to some new spots and scouting some more. I'm just trying to hunt as much as I can.
Well, you're welcome to come down here and hunt geese with us in February, but you'd have to plan it at the same week as the Great American Outdoor Show, and we'll take you hunting. How's that sound?
I would love that.
There you go.
You can count me in, and I will take you guys striper fishing. How about that?
Oh, that's a deal.
Stevie, get back in the house.
Perfect.
We have another
Wait a minute.
podcast.
That's not a good deal. Stevie gets to go striper fishing, and I get to go lay in the snow in February.
Yeah,
Sounds like a good deal.
Minus whatever. Stevie's like, yeah, it's on.
Yep. Catfish will take you
You're like,
hunting in the snow.
The invite's always
Whatever
open,
you
Ariel.
want.
Come on out east.
I'm looking forward to it. We're going to be heading a lot more out east now with trying to get some snow geese and more geese. So
That's
going to
cool.
be trying to get permission to hunt places and just overall scouting.
So you work with some pretty cool outdoor companies now, right, Ariel?
Yes,
You want-
I do. I have, yeah.
Go ahead and give a shout out to those folks.
Ducks Waterfowl for sure. Definitely one of my favorites also. I love to use Widowmaker lures. Moses Family Jerky. I just finally tried them and oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we love it.
Everyone has their favorite snack in the blind, right? I mean, your most iconic thing, well, jerky's mine. So I'm just in hog heaven over here, stocking up, purchasing all that I can. And
We literally just took them out fishing this weekend and videoed some
that's
stuff.
awesome.
Did some stuff for them. Yeah, they're really cool people. Make a great product. Yep.
it's different.
They do.
It's just a different jerky.
Yeah.
What'd you say last week? It's pure steak.
It's just pure steak.
It's pure steak.
There's not many places you can go in the outback, like way out, like we were. Like once you hit nowhere, it's another 10-hour drive.
Right.
And literally open up a bag and like just eat a steak. Like
Yeah.
it's different. It's good. It's real good.
Saved my life a couple of days.
Did it?
Thank you, Moses Family Jerky.
Yes.
There was a tragedy though. We did lose one bag.
Oh no.
Yeah, that was in the cooler the black bear stole, and I think that was the first thing he munched on because on the way in the trail, that was the first thing we found.
Oh, yeah.
Then my
Man.
pliers and my fillet knife, then the ripped up cooler. But he got the jerky first.
He licked the bag like inside and out. Like it was
One smart bear.
it was clean.
And sent it back to them to reuse it.
And he left a note asking for more, please.
Oh
Very
man.
Miss Ariel, we're running up on time here. We really appreciate it. And it was great talking to you, unfortunately.
But before you go, is there any other way that we can find you other than Instagram?
So right now you can definitely look on my Instagram for sure. I also have another account. It's not really, you can find some more our traveling adventures between my husband and I. PAOH Outdoors. Still kind of working on growing that, and we have some more stuff we're trying to plan for that right now. We're working with one of my friends' groups right now, Backroad Boutique. She does vinyl decals and everything, so we're working with her. See a lot more of our stuff in our hunts on her page as well. And then on Facebook, I mean, if you just want to even find me on there too, I post a lot of my hunting trips, adventures, everything on there as well. So definitely Instagram, though. That's my favorite thing to talk to everybody with.
Yeah, right on.
Great. All right.
Awesome.
Thanks for spending some time with us this evening.
Yeah,
Eric.
thank you.
It's been great.
Keep it up,
Thank you
Ariel.
guys so much. Thank you. It was so great talking with you all.
We appreciate your time. Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Ryan,
Yes, sir.
where can they find us?
Well, they can find us at rutandriverpursuits.com. Of course, all your social media platforms, just search Rut and River Pursuits. Check out the YouTube page, Rut and River Pursuits Podcast. And the podcast itself can be heard on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, CastBox, all the good ones.
All the
And Libsyn.
And I keep saying this, but don't forget, check us out and follow us individually because there's always something going on with the entire group.
At Pass It Through Archery.
Yep.
At Will Miser.
Yeah, right.
At R2 Buck.
Yep. Stevie Miser.
No, it's not Stevie Miser.
It's the Steve.
I thought it was little Stevie Miser.
No, it's not that.
That's
Good
coming.
luck finding him at little Stevie Miser.
Yeah. Go ahead and try.
And don't forget, guys, if you're feeling crazy, go ahead and leave us a review because we love seeing the feedback and always are looking to give you guys what you want.
All right. She Hunts PA. Thanks, Ariel.
Thanks, Ariel.
That's it.
Thank you guys.
Later.
Peace. Rig and weedless.
You got this, Bucky.
She Hunts Paw.
She Hunts Paw.
What's a paw?
It's like a foot.
It's at the end of the bear's arm.
Bear arms?
No, deer with bear paws.
What season is Paw?
All right, let's tighten
Yeah, come on. You guys are giving me the giggles.
You're
Here
getting
we
all
go.
loosey-goosey. Snow geese taste like steak.
Snake.
They taste like snake steak.
Snake. Snow geese taste...
That will be edited.
Yeah. Snow geese...
Buck made when he laughs, I laugh. And
Buck
then
snort.
everybody laughs. Buck snorted. he's holding up a koozie in front of his face because he can't look at me. I'm sorry.